Her textbook slipped from her arms as the roar shattered the quiet campus. Afternoon. At first, Madison thought it was an accident, maybe a low-flying plane or construction nearby. But then, the ground shook, windows rattled, and every head on the quad tilted upward in unison. Black silhouettes appeared against the blue sky, their rotor blades cutting through the air with terrifying precision. Choppers, not just any. Choppers, military grade. And they were descending on her university lawn, the grass bending beneath the storm of wind they carried. She was just a freshman, still figuring out her dorm life and cafeteria schedules. But within moments, she was at the center of something so much bigger. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Students scattered, some screaming, some frozen. Madison's heart pounded in her chest as soldiers in black gear stormed out, their movements impossibly coordinated. They weren't here for training, and this wasn't a drill. The whispers spread like fire. Delta Force. The words rippled across the crowd, chilling the air. Madison tried to convince herself they couldn't be here for her. She was ordinary, invisible, even just a kid from a small town with a secret she hadn't spoken aloud in years. But she knew. Deep down she knew, because the past never really stays buried. She remembered the night years ago when her father disappeared without a trace. He had been an Army intelligence officer, someone who worked in shadows, and just before he left, he whispered one thing to her: if they ever come for you, it means I didn't make it back, and it means you're the only one left who knows. She hadn't understood then, but the look in the eyes of those soldiers told her everything. They weren't searching randomly. They were searching for her. The wind from the blades pressed her hair into her face, her eyes stinging as she backed up against the brick wall of the library. Her friends looked at her confused. Why are they staring at you? One asked. Madison didn't answer, because even she didn't know how to put it into words. She had memorized something as a child, a strange sequence of numbers her father had made her repeat like a lullaby. At the time, she thought it was just a silly game. Now she wondered if that was the very reason these men were here. The crowd hushed. One soldier stepped forward, his voice booming over the chaos. Madison Cole, hearing her name fall from his lips, made her stomach drop. He scanned the crowd until his gaze locked on her trembling frame. The world seemed to hold its breath. Some students whispered angrily, "Why her? What did she do?" Others pulled out phones recording, because that's what people do when history unfolds. Madison felt her knees weaken. Was this justice for something she hadn't done? Or a punishment for secrets she never asked to carry? She wanted to run. She wanted to vanish. But she remembered her father's voice, steady and unshakable. When the time comes, you'll know what's right. So she stepped forward. Each footfall was heavier than the last, yet strangely freeing. The soldiers didn't move until she was only a breath away. And then, to everyone's shock, the commander removed his helmet, lowering his head slightly, not in hostility, but in respect. "Your father saved us more times than you'll ever know," he said, quietly, though the silence of the crowd carried his words everywhere. "And now, you carry what he couldn't." Madison blinked back, tears, the anger and fear, melting into something stronger, responsibility. She wasn't just a freshman anymore. She was the keeper of her father's legacy and the choice of whether to run from it or rise into it. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits and it finds its way back. And as the rotor blades tore through the sky, Again, lifting dust and paper into the air, Madison stood tall. The same girl, who once felt invisible, now understood. Sometimes a wave of courage finds us before we feel ready. And when it does, the world watches that. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this one.